Right, Pete, so I thought I'd create a quick video to show you how to get some decent 700 gear. So the gear that you really want is this Frigid Dawn stuff. You can craft it in the gypsum kiln. The reason why you want it is it has enchanted ward and elemental aversion. You can't get them, craft them together, and then you can throw something else on there if you want. So it can make yourself quite tanky. I usually put health or refreshing. But you do need these mutator materia. I got a shit ton of this from doing this season pass. They just give you crates of it. So when the next season passes out, maybe look at doing that. If you haven't got much of that, it's very hard to acquire it. So this might not be the best route. You can get this gear. It drops in the dungeon. That is the Glacial Tarn, which is this one here. It's not on mutation this week. It was on last week, so it might be a while before that's back on rotation. What else? If you look in here, there's artifacts, but ignoring artifacts for a moment, you can craft in this Rise of Angry Earth name replicas. You can craft these items, which all come out at 700. So this has the specific dungeon. So you need Tempest for this one, and there's armor in here as well. So then you might find some that are useful, or you could if you got a bit of each dungeon, maybe you can cobble together a 700 set from that you're okay with. It might not be your best set though to begin with. The best items from here are in these mutator name replicas. So this has your Azov kit, which is fairly good stats across the board, and then the armors you'll see are also quite good. But again, this is the dense mutator stuff, which is quite hard to come by if they don't hand it to you on the season pass. The other thing you can do, yeah, okay, you got your faction gear, which is all right in terms of its stuff. So you can get 675 gear, which has basically decent stats in terms of refreshing, health, and enchanted, but it's not 700, so you will miss out on like 2 attributes if it's on armor and etc. But that's one option for some quick gear. That's what I did initially, just to get sorted. And then if I run up over to here, you can craft yourself some gear. There's cheap gear that you can get if you search for best. This stuff here. So this is your dungeon gear that's bind on craft. Bear that in mind. But when you've got all your trophies and the right materials, you can basically force this to be 700 without having to use all the prismatic materials. So that says 670 with the food buff and the clothing. That would be 700. If I didn't, I'm assuming on the map, purple has this fort. Yeah, they do. So this fort in Morningdale, you get a bonus +5. If you haven't got that fort, then you will need prismatic materials for all 3 of those slots. But if you just type best, the light set is trash in that it's focus int. The medium set is strength and dex, which isn't great, but I don't know if you might have a use for that or some items of that. But you do get a con set over in the smithy, which is where I'm headed now. Search for that. Yeah, they have weapons as well, but they're not great. So with this, you get to choose one perk, and then the rest is just random. But it's quite cheap. You just need some of these seedlings, and then obviously the materials to build it. And then of course the other way to craft yourself 700 gear, if you got your armoring up to was it 250 now, you can just go for timeless shards. They changed it a little bit how you do it. So if you want a con, you don't want weapons. I mean, you can craft weapons, but so it would be prismatic scarab is if you, I think it's if you want to choose all 3 slots, but they'll cost a fuck ton of materials. That's one way to do it if you want like bis, guaranteed bis. But I tend to go for the golden scarab method, which you only need like a lot less of the material, like a significantly lot less. But you do need a golden scarab. You do need timeless shards. Actually, no, not this one. Golden scarab, not that one. Don't think. That one's coming out too low. It's it has to be mithril, and yeah, this is it here. So if you plug in all these materials, again with this, if you have Morningdale Fort, you could get away with. Okay, that has to be prismatic, but this could be runic leather, so you save yourself a little bit of materials there. And you get to choose two. You do need to make these armor matrices. If you can't craft these yourself because you haven't got all your trade skills up to 250, then you can just buy that for like 3k off the market, and you need 3 golden scarabs as well as the shards to do these ones. But these are okay. And then the final way you can get some 700 gear crafting, if you look at replicas, to be honest, this method is best for weapons. So I do believe if you put the right materials in here, yeah, again you can save yourself a bit of materials by having Morningdale. You can get to 700. You need banner fragments and shard of pride. These are best just bought off the marketplace. You do buy them from the faction shop, but they cost more gold from the faction shop, so just get them from the marketplace. They do drop from open world PvP basically, and you can choose only one perk, but you can get yourself some cheap 700 gear that way. If you did go for the armor, just be aware that it's not guaranteed. Like with the sword here, it's a high chance of having strength on it, whereas with the armor, it's a random stat which could be fucking anything. And if you choose to put con on it, then you don't know what bits you're gonna get. But it would give you 700 gear if you choose the right one. It has to be this stuff here, so that'd be 700 down here. That's pretty much it, I think. In terms of my kit, I've got the first kit that I started is with the bestial gear, which is what I'm hovering over here. So I just made elemental version, fresh conditioning and refreshing set, and then I continued that with some golden scarabs just to get everything how I wanted it. You get some gear on the PvP track reward as well. That's quite good. And a lot of the dungeons give you kit that you can just upgrade at the gypsum kiln. If it's not 700, then you can force it 700 in the gypsum kiln and choose a perk, which works quite well. I'll just quickly show that before I end the vid here. So in my inventory, there's probably something in here that can be upgraded or modified. So obviously all your artifacts that you collect, so you can change the random perk that's on there. So for example, this is the leeching ring. I just put keen on it, but I could change that at any point. I do need to use a chromatic seal. I suggest you start collecting these. You get them from the faction shop. 5k gold once per day, so try and collect one each day if you can. And you need a jewelry matrix, so that's like another 4-5k off the market. Dark matter, hopefully that just comes to you over time, just from doing stuff, and same with gypsum orbs. So that's the artifacts, and then name items. So I've obviously got some kit that's in my inventory, so A's off battery, for example. That could be upgraded. Some of these that are in my inventory might not be 700. So like this Baleful Protector is 680, but when I upgrade it, it becomes 700. One set that's pretty good, if you can't get hold of the Frigid Dawn, is this the Tempest one, the Zohu, however you pronounce that. It comes with refreshing and health for a light set. If you're looking for a light set, I use that on my healer, which I have here. It's pretty much just all that set. But yeah. Anyway, hopefully catch you at some point, and yeah.